Okay, listen, pay attention, Africa. Have you ever asked yourself, why was it that the then military head of state, Yakubu Gowon, said that what was about to escalate in 1967 between Nigeria and Biafra was not going to be a war, that it does not even need military operation, that it was going to be a police action. That is to say, just few weeks and it will be over. Police action. What if I tell you that the British colonial administration, even before Nigeria regained their independence in 1960, already knew that there is going to be a civil war in Nigeria shortly after our independence? Listen and pay attention. I'm taking you into a step-by-step voyage of wisdom. Pay attention. You see, the British colonial administration recognized the fact that Nigeria as a country is a fragile nation because it's made up of different people that could not tolerate each other. Out of that amalgamation of 1914, they knew it's a fragile nation. Pay attention. These were the military installations in Nigeria before the January 15th, 1966 military coup d'etat, so that you will know how strategic the military were being installed in order to maintain dominance in some particular region of the country. Pay attention. The British government realized the fact that Nigeria cannot be governed by just democratic and political power. You need military strength. Therefore, they made sure that the military installment in the country was being installed mostly in the region where they want to hold power. Pay attention. Before January 15th, 1966 military coup d'etat, these were the military installations in Nigeria and their locations. Pay attention. The 3rd Battalion was in Kaduna. The 5th Battalion was in Kano. The 1st Field Battle Artillery was in Kaduna. The 1st Field Squadron Engineers was in Kaduna. 88th Transport Regiment was in Kaduna. Nigeria Military Academy was in Kaduna. Ordnance Depot was in Kaduna. 44 Military Hospital was in Kaduna. Nigeria Military Training College was in Kaduna. Reconnaissance Squadron and Regimental Headquarters was in Kaduna. Are you getting it? 6th Battalion, while under formation, was in Kaduna. Ammunition Factory was in Kaduna. Nigeria Air Force was in Kaduna. Recruit Training Depot was in Zaria. NMS, which was Nigeria Military School, was in Zaria. So 15 military installments were all in the north. 15 military installments were all in the north, left with only 4. Because before 1966 military coup d'etat, you had 19 military installments in the country. So 15 were all in the north. So in the southwest, what did you have? The 4th Battalion was in Ibadan. The 2nd Field Battle Artillery was in Abeokuta. The 2nd Reconnaissance Squadron was in Abeokuta, making it how many? 18. So left with 1 military installation, and that was the 1st Battalion, which was located in Enugu State, which was the Eastern Region capital at that time. So in the whole of the southeastern part of Nigeria, you had only 1 military installment, which was the 1st Battalion. In the southwest, you had 3. And in the whole of the north, you had 15. So Yakubu Gowon looked at all these things and said, you can't fight me. It's going to be a police action. So listen now, it was only the 1st Battalion that was at the disposal of Ojukwu during the war. That was what he seized and used the weapon at his disposal, coupled with the Ogboniwe that his kinsmen were able to produce in the University of Nigeria in Nsukka that was situated in Enugu in Nsukka. And then the little non-sophisticated weapons they were getting from black market against all the military installations, 15 of them in the north and the 3 in the southwest, making it how many? 18, and against one military installment in Enugu. Do you think it was a coincidence that 15 military installations were all in the north? No, it was not a coincidence. It was structured, it was organized, it was preplanned, it was pre-planned and situated in order to limit other region, because the British administration knew that this country is not going to stand without a war. So they make sure that the military strength is being concentrated at a particular place where dominance and power will be retained, because political power and democracy is not enough to hold a fragile nation as Nigeria. The man who controls the gun controls power in a country such as Nigeria. That is why Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe said, the man with the gun is the man in power. It was not a coincidence. And if you think it's a coincidence, pay attention to what I'm about to tell you. Are you ready for me? You are not ready for me. Are you ready? Pay attention. You see, before 1960 independence, the British colonial administration introduced what was called regional military quota system into the army. What does this mean? Whenever there were to be a new recruit in the army, the northern part of Nigeria were to provide 60% of the military recruits, 60%. The southwest and the southeast were to provide 15% each, while the Midwestern Nigeria were to provide 10%. A lot of you do not know that before independence, you don't have more Northerners in the army. No, you don't. The Northerners were not interested in the army. They were doing well in agriculture, having their groundnut pillar made in Kano. They were making a lot of money. But the British recognized the fact that if power is to be concentrated in this place, these people have to be in the military. So what do? Give them more quota in the army, 60%. The South and the West, 15%, diminish their number. The Midwest, give them 10%, diminish that number. You need to understand that the war was already seen by the British colonial administration, and the military was structured in order to handicap the other region. You think it was a coincidence that 15 military installations were all in one region, 3 in the other region, and 1 in one region? They knew. Just imagine 15 military installations at the disposal of the Biafrans before the war. Do you think Nigeria will stand a chance? Remember, with all that military installation, 18 of it with the help of the British, Egyptians, Niger, another African country, coming to fight these people, they still withhold and withstand and held their ground for 30 months, 2.5 years, between 1967 to 1970. Now listen, are you ready for me? There's a lot of things I have to expose for you to understand the political perspective of Nigeria. Are you ready for me? Because in videos to come, a lot will be discussed. A lot will be discussed. We are no longer holding back. But pay attention, very importantly, I am not teaching you these things so that you begin to show resentment and begin to throw tantrum against the other ethnicity. No, I am not telling you this to hate anyone. No, I am teaching you to know the structure of the country. Do not hate the man whom the system was structured to favor. You are to show your tantrum and knowledge on the man who structured the system to favor who it is favoring for a particular reason. So you don't hate the normal man in the street begging. Alamaji Lee, you don't hate him. You hate the man who structured the system to gain from him. So it is not an ethnic war. No, it is a war of ignorance. So we are liberating ourselves from the cankerworm of ignorance and not a battle of ethnicity. I preach love and I preach truth and I preach dimensions of directional truth. You are not ready for me. Africa, wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is the principal thing. You will learn a lot. Make sure you follow me on that platform because I'm going to review so many more to you. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, okay, Twitter, Modern Day Town Crier. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because a lot will be taught. that I cannot say here exactly. I love you and I care about you. I'm still going from school to schools giving books to African children. Okay, support my movement so we can get our children to read. Remember, this video is not to cause hate or resentment, but to expose truth to you and research that has been made. I love you and I care about you. Okay, it is past 1 a.m. and I had to do that video for you to understand. I have to do this video. I love you and I care about you. Make sure you follow this page and make sure you follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram so we can keep in touch. Make sure you request for book, okay? How do you request for book? Go to my bio right here on TikTok. You see a WhatsApp contact. WhatsApp it and tell you need a book, and book will be given to you in less than 24 hours. On all platforms, make sure you WhatsApp me, okay? You will get a book for free. You're not paying anything. Thank you so much, and I love you. Wisdom Africa, aha, is a principal thing. More video is coming. Follow this page. I love you, Africa. Wisdom Africa, aha, is a principal thing. Haha.